Hello and welcome to Video Death Loop, the podcast / show / thing that you're about to watch, where we watch a video on loop until one of us taps out or passes out. Both of us, yes, important detail. And we're gonna have a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, a lot of jovial good times.
It's really
that's
positive.
I'm very positive about this because we haven't done this before, you and I. We've done this several times, actually.
Yeah, this show is based on an old YouTube series that we used to do called Aaron and John Watch. Check that out, I guess, on YouTube.
I'm the John part of the show. I'm your host for this time, John Hurst. And with me is Aaron Littleton. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm your co-host, or I'm your experimentee this time. I think
yes.
We agreed how the setup was going to work is that we would take turns hosting the show and also take turns choosing the short video clip that we would watch. So whatever John has loaded up is a complete surprise to me.
Yes, it is. It's kind of like a magic trick. Basically, it's like we have never met before. Actually, we have met before, and I'm sure you're actually familiar with the clip that we're about to show, but not in the way that you expected.
Are you familiar with the clip?
Well, I mean, for one, you're probably used to it being on Friday. It's Wednesday this week, and you know what? TGIW.
Oh man.
Yeah. So. And it may be Thursday or Friday, maybe any other day of the week where you're watching it, or maybe you're in the past, and if so, that's really confusing. You're spending your time as a time traveler listening to future podcast episodes. That's a really weird use of your time, and probably not helpful to our current timeline. So,
no,
good job, you.
I mean, we appreciate the downloads.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if there are downloads wherever you're from, I mean, maybe you downloaded it before. And either way, we appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm going to get the stopwatch ready to go.
All right.
I'll hit start as soon as you hit play.
All right.
If this gets to an hour before the both of us tap out, then we will have survived this experiment.
Indeed. Before, though, I think because we are an audio podcast, and we have trains just raging by.
We said, where's a good place to record?
Trains.
How about next to a train?
I mean, I'm an avid train spotter. And, it's if you get my info on the new DC Lincoln 412 before I have no idea what trains are. But
wait, you have no idea what trains are?
No, not idea. I've just heard about trains.
Know specific
I'm a train
trains.
hipster. I'm a train hipster. I know. I think I've heard about a train.
You forgot about trains.
I forgot about trains.
So you could learn about trains
again
and pretend like you've known about trains for a really long time.
Yes, that's the yes. Yeah, you got it on the dot. Good job.
Okay.
I listened to vinyl records of train sounds.
Yes.
Lots of them.
That you bought before you knew what trains were.
Exactly. I had to study up on trains. I didn't know about I could have looked up trains on Wikipedia, but
John, you're a weird dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, but the video that we're watching is I did do that little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yes.
But I'm sure you're familiar.
I feel like it comes from a specific block of shows.
A specific block of shows. But can you guess which one?
From the American Broadcasting Company.
Yes. Not any other broadcasting company.
No, not the Columbia Broadcasting Company.
No.
12 Columbians.
Just 12 shows for a penny or something.
The Columbia Broadcasting Company based in Columbia.
Well, depends on the type of revolution.
Country of Columbia. That's what I want to know. CBS? You've been pretending to be American for a long time, but secretly you're Colombian.
Colombian Broadcast System.
That's what their name is.
Yeah. No, I mean, it could very well be. It could be. Okay, we're going way off track.
Yes.
Talking about trains and networks. We have not talked about the video. The video is Family Matters.
Oh, man.
The opening of the show.
The theme song to Family Matters.
Yeah, and there are a lot of them out there, so if you want to play the home game at home, and it's kind of like riff tracks. You don't have to do anything special, though. We do not try to sync up because, honestly, we're not going to keep up either. Just, repeat it on loop and slowly go insane with us at home.
Please.
Have fun, won't you? But the one we're using is from season 1, and this has a little bit of a weird backstory because they had different versions of it. They played it. They did the Louis Armstrong version.
We'll get started.
Yeah, we'll get started. We are wasting valuable time, and the stopwatch has not begun. So we're going to begin now. In 3, 2, 1, go. There we go.
Okay, this is the theme song. Like the audio to it is what I recall.
Yeah.
Oh man, there goes Reginald VelJohnson.
That is a fancy ass name.
Okay, so we've got Reginald VelJohnson. He comes jauntily down the stairs, smiles at the camera, and then we see various other members of his family.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember any of their names.
No, I don't either. This is what's going to make it fun.
Oh, I think Jamie Foxworth is a little girl, and maybe Brighton McClure as well. Oh, there's Urkel.
Hi, Urkel.
Jaleel White, that's all I remember.
And your menu for today?
Rachel, I believe, got cut from the show.
One of them got cut from the show. I was looking up a little bit of info. I tried to not go too deep into the Wikipedia hole before this. It was like, let's see what I can remember. And I don't remember shit. I don't remember anything. I remember Urkel. Yeah. And people are happy and making pies and rafts, feeding pigeons.
Every 90s sitcom seemed to have a raft episode, didn't they? Like somewhere in sitcom land, there was someone that was obsessed with the idea of self-inflating rafts.
Well, I mean, there's just comedy gold. You hit a button and they inflate, and you can't do anything about it. You have to stop that.
Oh god!
And it's like
starting over.
It is. I mean, it's a pretty short one. So
how many seconds is this? Do we know? Is it 30 seconds?
It's about a minute.
Oh, it's a minute. So
yeah.
We only have to watch this 60 times.
Roughly.
Rosetta Lenore, Darius McCrary. Don't remember his name. Kelly Sheen Williams.
Jamie Foxworth. Yeah, I think she was the one written out.
Yeah, I think she was. Bright McClure, I don't remember him either.
And his pimp-ass tricycle.
This show started, I believe Urkel was like almost an afterthought to the show, if I recall correctly. And then he became so... How did Urkel not get his own spinoff?
I think Family Matters became his own spinoff. I think that's how it worked.
It ran a lot of seasons.
I was looking into it, and the number of spin-off, like crossover episodes on TGIF with Urkel is ginormous. It's this period where Urkel just invaded other shows and just did his thing and got ratings for them, basically. It's like, oh, Perfect Strangers is going under. We better put an Urkel episode.
Wait, was there an Urkel episode of Perfect Strangers?
No, maybe not that, but there was one of the other shows. Like, well, the ratings are slightly going downhill. It's like Vince McMahon's like, damn it, get Urkel out there right now. Gotta grab that brass ring.
Top heel in the stable.
He's going to go far. He's going to go far.
This show got particularly... We are on our third loop, I believe.
Yes, we are.
This show got weird, if I remember, because it went from a show that was relatively based in reality to all kinds of like magical science that Urkel would do.
I was trying to find out. I spent a lot of time studying which season would be the best season to show you. Because none of, like, the early episodes, like the inflatable raft is what got me. I'm not going to lie. And the bike, everyone's riding bikes and just super happy. But I watched one of the later episodes, and by about the final season, Urkel has a machine that turns him to a cool dude.
Yes, no, Stefan Urkel.
Stefan Urkel. But other people end up accidentally using it, and like
they become cooler versions of themselves.
No, they become nerdier versions of it reverses because they're already cool.
Wait, no. Oh man, here's the question: was Urkel actually so cool that making him less cool turned him just as to what normal humans would consider cool?
It turned out that it was actually, he had a problem growing up in elementary school where he was so cool that it became a problem in class. Like his coolness exuded, and it's like, no, I gotta stop this. I mean, I'm a danger to society at this rate. And so he made the cool, like the nerd machine, and he made himself a nerd, and that's his secret identity. and yeah, there you go. The more you know.
What was this show about to begin with? It was just like a family, right? And it was Reginald VelJohnson, I believe, was a police officer.
He was.
Was he his character from Die Hard, or was Die Hard after this? Is this a spinoff of Die Hard, John?
That would
Did John McClane show up?
A spinoff of Die Hard. I was going to say, like, I think actually it was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers, but I like the Die Hard explanation way better because he moved from L.A. He had his last day of retirement. He helped I said John McClane. John McClane. Bruce Willis.
Noted presidential candidate.
Noted presidential candidate.
Badass that fought terrorists.
Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a presidential nomination. But no, he helped John McCain, and he's like, I need to move to Chicago and start a family.
I was going to ask, this doesn't look like New York in these shots. It looks like Chicago. There's
a significant and odd amount of Twin Towers in this.
This isn't one of those videos they went back and digitally erased the Twin Towers from either.
They thought about it. It's like, is Chicago New York? I'm not sure.
Should we do a pan shot of New York just to remind people that even in the 90s, when Family Matters was happening, the Twin Towers never existed?
Do you think people who do pan shots of New York now just get really nervous?
Go, man, what's the net? No, man, no. I bet, maybe. Is there some technology that allows them to film things that that they could remove anything from it if they try? Oh,
it's the equivalent of the Back to the Future disappearing photograph of people, and just but it's just for buildings, terrorist attacks. We're off to a great start.
Anyway, if you don't get your parents to kiss, ISIS is taking down another building. That's what I want out of Back to the Future 4. Write that down, Robert Zemeckis.
Yes.
That is what we need.
Yes, writing that down.
What is this, 8, 9? I don't know. How many times have we watched this now? Oh, man. Now we're getting into the point where I'm not happy with this.
But they're so happy. They're happy for you.
And the grandmother, she's reading Rolling Stone magazine.
With featured artist U2, when they still made music.
Was there ever a time... I feel like Rolling Stone is actually pretty cool again these days, but because of their scathing political commentary, rather than any sort of coolness that comes out of rock music.
No, they're just kind of like, hey, we're Rolling Stones. We're the edgier dentist newspaper, magazine.
No, really? You don't think Rolling Stone is a cool publication?
No. I guess it's like, hey, look at these cool pictures, and we have some occasionally interesting articles and stuff. But I think, I think sometimes they try too hard.
Too hard. Yeah. Rolling Stone, the expose on General Petraeus. Trying a little too hard. My review.
My official magazine review of Rolling Stones.
But I guess, in what era was Rolling Stone supposed to be a code word for cool at the point that we were, that this was new? Because I don't think it was a choice they made randomly to have cool. The grandmother reading Rolling Stone magazine. I think it was meant to show she was hip.
That was probably true, yeah.
So was Rolling Stone cool in the early 90s?
Okay, let's be it was kind of cool. It was basically Rolling Stones is the magazine you bought because you were not old enough to get Playboy yet.
Is that true?
Basically, you couldn't read the articles in Playboy, so you just read the articles in Rolling Stone. And then you learned about your whatever Madonna was doing that month, which was basically I think
probably pretty saucy. I mean, let's face it, early 90s, saucy.
Pretty saucy.
Playboy substitute. I'm on board.
It's I would read that. What is Madonna doing? It's here's the Chef Boyardee on Madonna this month.
The Chef Boyardee,
saucy.
I don't think that one's gonna catch on, John.
No.
I don't think a euphemism for the saucy news is ever going to be the Chef Boyardee.
Not even trailer park trash saucy.
No.
Are you sure?
No, because you can't just say, here's the saucy it has to be, here's the saucy news, which, let's face it, is a pretty rarely used phrase to begin with. I kind of wish it was said more. Even longer string of words to replace that.
What would you prefer? Here's the Prego.
Here's the Prego.
Here's the ragu.
Here's the ragu. Actually, if anything is going to take over, it's going to be here's the ragu.
Here's the ragu on this situation.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
What's the ragu on Rachel? She's kind of
the ragu on Rachel.
Yeah,
she was boring. Apparently, she got wrote out of the show. Her season one episodes focused largely on tax preparation.
Oh man, I love tax preparation in my sitcoms. It's a great.
I mean, it wasn't even a particularly funny episode about tax preparation. It was kind of helpful at the time. Of course, the tax code being what it was, no longer applicable in any way, shape, or form. But in the mid-'90s, you needed help on how to fill out that long form 1040. That one episode with Rachel was going to get you.
If you didn't have a computer, I mean, you were just, you were on your own.
It was part of. Well, you didn't have a computer because, I guess maybe some people had.
Maybe some people,
early
but
90s.
Those people did not watch Family Matters. Let's be honest.
No, they weren't downloading Family Matters off of BitTorrent in the early 90s.
ASCII Family Matters.
Man, I want to make that happen. I want to really confuse people that are watching BitTorrent sites for copyright violations. They're always watching. It's like, what was the most torrented show this week? Well, it's the newest episode of Game of Thrones, right? No. I want some random mid-season 1 episode of Family Matters to top in the charts in the most pirated episode of the week.
We
never got that.
No.
There was never... Would they do that, though? Oh, man. I can't watch this. I'm not tapping out, but okay. My God.
I mean, you're not tapping out because I'm not saying no right now.
No, I'm not even filing my tap out complaint at this point.
Okay. But they're they're just this is like a wholesome family. They're according to the intro here, they're just it's like, hey, we're in Chicago and we have a raft. It's like where are they going to use a raft in Chicago?
The river.
The
Chicago River.
The Chicago River is a dangerous cesspool.
Is that the name of the river in Chicago?
I'm
not gonna go. I'm not writing my. You can't quote me on that. I'm going to say in the fiction of Family Matters, it's called the Chicago River.
It turns out, clearly we know a lot about Chicago here in the room right now, but I think everything in Chicago is known as, there's Chicago Pizza,
the Chicago
Police Department, Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, Chicago...
Wait, the White Sox are in Chicago?
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, the Red Sox are, Boston.
Yeah, I knew the Red Sox were... okay. If pressed, I would have come up with some non-Chicagoan city.
You would probably got New England somewhere. Right?
Yeah, no, I knew it was New England, but I wasn't quite sure.
No, Chicago's we're going to have two teams.
Chicago Packers.
Chicago, yep, yeah.
No, it's not.
Chicago Cheeseheads.
Chicago Cheeseheads.
And Chicago dance maneuvers and Chicago hand puppets. Yeah.
There's a lot of dancing in this.
They're a dancing company. They're a group, a family.
There's at least, hang on, let's count. We're restarting right now. Good time to start our dancing count.
Okay. All right.
No one yet. Okay.
Is that a dance?
No, that was a happy walk, not a dance.
Okay.
She was playing music, probably for dancing, but we didn't see it.
She's listening. She's reading about dancing,
but not actually dancing.
He's thinking about dancing on his car.
Yeah, he's sort of a lean over from your wholesome family job.
She's making her dollhouse
dancing. He's not dancing.
That kid is so happy to be on.
Steve Urkel dancing. Okay, dancing while he's playing that thing.
Not a dance, but really hoping to get a good tip.
Riding across a bridge, not dancing.
Confirmed.
Is that Chicago? Are they touring Chicago on a bike?
Yeah,
more dancing.
More dance too. Bad cook. Urkel stand up.
That's a dance. That is a dance. That is a dance. That was a walk, but it was also a dance. Yeah, there's a dance. 4 dances.
You are right. There's
4 dances. 5 dances.
5 dances.
And that's a double dance right there.
Yeah.
There's in a potentially 60-second spot, and I'm not convinced.
They want you to get boogie fever, basically.
This family dances a whole lot. That's just a shortcut. It's like, hey, what would a happy family do? Well, they dance all over the place, right?
You think they're trying to hide some insidious secret that they're not happy and they're just dancing all the time?
I know that is what they are doing. I know that is what they are doing.
Do you think they have a vicious argument about tax preparation? Rachel failing to do it properly. That's why she's not in the show anymore. And they have an argument, but someone comes by, Urkel comes by, and they all start dancing, and Urkel starts dancing too, because that's all he's seen. That's all he's seen of this family.
That's all he knows is they're a dancing family. Doesn't know anything at all about the man they've got chained up in their basement.
No, certainly not.
And he's down there.
The Chicago man.
The Chicago man.
Yeah.
That's his name. His last name
Chicagoman.
is Chicagoman.
Philip Chicagoman.
He was the man that originally owned this house.
Owned Chicago.
They busted in. First episode. You remember this. They busted in.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. He was alone because he lived alone. They took him down to the basement with the intent of murdering him.
Yeah.
And taking his house. But none of them had the guts to do it. So they chained him up downstairs.
I don't remember
Next to
this in syndication at all.
No, that storyline got dropped out of syndication. True fact, you watch any episode of Family Matters, every single episode in syndication, 2 to 3 minutes shorter, because every episode they went through and cut out every part, every mention.
Is it like
of Stanley Chicagoman? And his name was Stanley.
I thought it was more like it was like a Mork and Mindy indie monologue where just it's Philip Chicagoman talking about his like, well, I'm in the basement again.
I mean, that's where it progressed to later on as the show got even less and less plausible. Stanley Chicagoman had these pretty funny, more or less monologues, almost like a late night talk show host, down in the basement where he was chained up. At the beginning, you know, he'd open it up. What about that OJ trial? Huh? And he'd look over and he'd see the Radiator, and he would hallucinate that the Radiator was his audience,
and just like laugh.
And then he'd laugh. He'd tell an insipid joke about the OJ trial.
Anyway, the guest for tonight is my captor, Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow, how are you? It's like, did I give you permission to talk?
He throws a bowl of gruel at him. Stanley Chicagoman has to lick it up off the floor because it spills everywhere. Because Carl is so mad that he caught him doing his downstairs chained up talk show again. Every day he threatens. This is going to be the last day, Stanley Chicagoman.
He goes back upstairs like, I wish one of us would have the will to kill him.
No one ever does, though.
Stanley
knows this, and he pushes his boundaries. As far as a man chained up to the pipes downstairs can push his boundaries.
So Stanley, quote, Philip Chicagoman.
There's a lot of episodes where Urkel tries to go down to the basement to do something, and the family has to rush and come up with implausible reasons why. There's a running gag.
They usually dance. They
just start dancing in front of the door. Urkel would get caught up. He'd start dancing, and they all move away from the door. The camera would pan slowly toward the door. Ominous string music would play for just a second. And then smash cut back to the living room where Urkel is showing them his new invention about cheese.
Cheese. He loved cheese, right?
That was cheese.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Like that was the Urkel thing.
That was the
Urkel. A love of cheese.
A love of cheese.
That was the primary thing. Right. I honestly said cheese just as a thing to say, to have a weird.
No, you innately knew that.
Yeah, that was very deep in my subconscious.
No, you had no choice but to admit that the cheese thing. It's just like it comes natural. When you were born, you had that genetic innate information, with that.
When I was born.
Years
before Family Matter was ever created.
Years before. Okay, yes. Years before you were born. Like, you had the innate ability to remember anything from sitcoms in the future. And it just happened to happen. So
I'm guessing that's petered out.
Yeah, pretty much. Mid-90s, basically.
That's all I knew? Man.
Yeah, like, everyone has that ability. You just don't really know it until it's too late. Like, you realize that...
Wait, everyone,
like when Friends was coming out, you were 8 or 9 or something, and, Friends, or, some gimmick from Friends would happen. It's like, oh... Or Seinfeld, it's like, oh, soup Nazi. It's like, you think it's funny, but you actually thought of that genetically first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why you think it's funny, because it's tapping into this ancestral part of your brain that somehow has a knowledge of sitcom television shows from upwards of a decade into the future.
And the reason why you don't think comedies, sitcoms are funny now is because that petered out after a certain time period.
That may be true. I think we're onto something, Sean.
I mean, I think we are.
Oh man, this theme song.
They're just I was reading up, I was trying to read up very basic character descriptions.
Yeah.
And the guy who I cannot remember his name. Oh, Eddie. Eddie was his name, the guy washing the car.
Yes, Eddie.
And the only thing, I only read the first sentence of every character. And the one that stuck with me was, the first sentence was, Eddie is a casual NBA NFL fan. That's his first description.
That's on his tombstone. A casual NBA/NFL fan.
I've never heard anyone describe themselves as a casual sports fan. It's like, that's pretty cool that the NFL game is on.
I mean, I could watch it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it would be enjoyable.
Is it my team? No, but okay, we'll take a look.
If Stanley Chicagoman would shut the hell up,
he's a huge Chicago Packers fan.
That's why. John, this is why. In the Family Matters universe, the reason that geography is different and that the Packers are in Chicago is that in some ancient time, the land of Wisconsin was wiped out by an asteroid. Cheese production moved down to Chicago. Hence, Steve Urkel's affinity for cheese.
Okay.
Chicago River.
No. I think he's actually a secret Wisconsinite.
His ancient bloodline.
He is the last Wisconsin.
I'm talking Chicago. It wasn't wiped out in the early 1900s.
Oh, you're talking millions of
years ago. That's where the asteroid that killed the dinosaur. The Family Matters universe hit square in the middle of Wisconsin. It's like sending the Great Lakes south towards Chicago. And creating the Chicago River.
There's 20 or more Great Lakes at this point up there because of this.
Yep, just dispersed islands of cheese production. Yes, Urkel's family was one of the cheese-producing tribes, stranded for millennia on an island in one of the 20 Great Lakes.
Each of the 20,000 islands of cheese. They had their own strand of cheese, and they fought bitter civil wars between each other over who had the best cheese.
These days, they're a United States protectorate. They're not quite a state.
They can't vote. Puerto Rico has more rights than the cheese states.
But the cheese islands are still an important source of history.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, of just any kind of production, any kind of cheese production you need. World War II wouldn't have been won in the Family Matters verse. Apart from the cheese producing islands of the Great Lakes.
With their cheese tanks.
Our boys fighting the Nazis in Europe would open their care packages from home to find delicious Wisconsin Island cheese.
Just nothing but cheese.
Just cheese. They were really blocked up for a lot of the war.
It was actually quite the problem.
But by God, they were sustained.
Is that why they're dancing? Because they're all so blocked up.
That's right. This close to cheese island, rapid bowel movement was needed from every single person multiple times a day. It's why Urkel was always so quick to join in to the dancing, because it's like, oh, I got to do it anyway, and this family's already doing it, and so he would dance. He would miss out on Stanley Chicagoman down in the basement.
Do you think Stanley Chicagoman dances down in the basement?
I mean, as much as he can. Of course, the gruel they feed him is largely cheese-based, being this close. I mean, it's probably the cheapest food stuff they could get their hands on.
I can see that.
Yeah, the scene coming up where, what did you say his name was? Teenage son, casual NBA fan?
Eddie.
Where Eddie pulls the lid off of a steaming pile of food. That's his own attempt at the cheese way that they're going to...
Gruel.
The cheese gruel. His own attempt at the cheese gruel that they feed Stanley Chicagoman every day.
And his is actually the best one. Stanley likes it a lot.
Well, it's just a different flavor. I mean, technically, it's not the best because they're clearly disgusted by the look of this food. But he just likes a different flavor. He's been eating the standard cheese gruel for so long now.
Oh, they're so happy.
What other... Okay, now in the Family Matters verse, remembering that Wisconsin no longer exists and is instead a series of islands on one of the 20 Great Lakes that produces cheese and has native tribes.
I fully accept that fact.
And that a large Chicago River now runs past the city of Chicago. What other kinds of changes would this make onto the planet? Have the Cubs possibly won a World Series
No,
at this point?
certainly
Are
not.
they even farther away because of their cheese-based diet?
They're actually somehow based in St. Louis.
The Cubs are not even there.
Yeah, it's like there's not even a good reason for it. They just got there's just no room in Chicago for two teams.
Yeah, the Chicago River, significantly larger than the actual river that runs by Chicago, which I guess still may or may not be the Chicago River, but it's different. It's different. This
Chicago
one's bigger.
River too. Maybe there's two of them now.
Yeah, there might be. Maybe it's almost like a peninsula, surrounded by two rivers. It's like the Nile and the Euphrates. Is that right? Nile and Euphrates made a peninsula there. There's
the Tiger and Euphrates.
The Tigris and the Euphrates. I'm thinking old rivers.
Yeah, rivers.
That's why Chicago was populated by ancient cheese-loving people significantly before any other native group moved in, because of the very fertile land in between the two rivers of Chicago River 1 and Chicago River 2.
You still go to the Dairy Temple Co-op on Sundays? Just
the Dairy Temple?
Yeah, Co-op.
Is that where the original temple to dairy?
Yeah, the Cheese-a-nites.
The Cheese-a-nites.
Have to dedicate their cheese to the gods.
Yes, of course.
Cheese gods. Which, Urkel is very fond of.
Yeah, being a member of one of the tribes of the cheese-producing islands. Mm-hmm. Yes, Urkel does worship one of the cheese gods. Maybe that's how they wrote out Rachel at the end of season 1. She was sacrificed to the cheese gods.
Oh, God. Oh, cheese.
Oh, cheese. That's also where Urkel finally found Stanley Chicagoland. He comes home one day. Only Aunt Rachel is there. The cheese gods have been displeased. Urkel initiates an impromptu sacrifice
of Rachel.
Of Aunt Rachel to the cheese gods. Rachel,
wait.
Rachel, aghast.
What brings Urkel to the point of sacrificing a human being?
It was the B plot of the episode.
He just didn't go think.
He was there at the Cheese Temple Co-op. The cheese gods were not pleased. It was not a good cheese harvesting year for them. Urkel, depressed, goes over to the Winslow's house, opens the door, was about to give his standard catchphrase of, "Did I do that?" Which is a thing he said a lot, if we all recall. Mm-hmm. Sees Aunt Rachel in a vulnerable position. Whips out his cheese knife.
I'm glad you said cheese knife.
Cheese knife. A knife to cut cheese and also to make sacrifices to the cheese god.
Yeah.
Aunt Rachel.
Very dull.
It's very dull.
It took
really
quite a few steps.
Really aggressively dull. Opens up. Aunt Rachel, surprised at this sudden attack, attempts to start the dance that she knows will entrap Urkel's mind and save her. But she's too flabbergasted. She can't get the dance going. Urkel advances. She backs up. The knife raises. In shadow, you see the knife come down again. This is like 20 minutes of the episode. Skin is not pierced. This is a 2-part episode.
Oh man,
this is the season finale.
No wonder why it's finale. Is Stanley watching all of this somehow?
No, he's still down in the basement.
Okay, he's still in the basement.
The knife lands on her about 30-40 times. Still hasn't broke the skin. Credits. End of episode.
Man, this is...
Next episode opens back up. Another plot with Carl Winslow. This time he's bought another inflatable vehicle, the inflatable motorcycle, which is hysterical, obviously.
Everyone's acting normal.
Everyone.
There's just a bit, but there's the reason why he's blowing out the inflatable motorcycle.
Everyone else is watching.
There's a big red splotch.
No, it's not done yet.
Oh, what? Okay,
there's a whole other A plot, which is just your standard comedy plot. You haven't watched this episode in a while.
I clearly I have not.
We cut back, and it's just Urkel still stabbing Aunt Rachel.
Is he in the same room?
It's the same room. The clock on the wall, though, has moved several hours. Aunt Rachel...
Oh, it does one of those things where the clock...
Tick, 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 tick. Yes, it spins around. Rachel, finally, less from the stab wounds and more from exhaustion, dies.
That's tragic.
Urkel says a quick prayer to the cheese gods and then looks for somewhere to hide the body.
Which is the basement.
The basement. He carries it down, thump, 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 every single step. He looks up and sees Stanley Chicagoman chained to the pipes. Smash cut back. Carl still can't get that motorcycle inflated.
Oh.
Everyone else is giving him ideas on what to do, but he can't get it done.
That's deep.
That
I learned a valuable lesson. Do not mess with the cheese gods in any way. Do not disrespect them. Do not prepare their taxes. They will launch revenge on you.
That's right. That's right. Aunt Rachel, she wasn't just doing her taxes. She was doing the taxes for a registered non-profit religion of the Cheese God Temple Co-op.
Yeah.
That's why they're so mad. Their refund was not as big as they were expecting.
No, they didn't get any of their cheese supplement income. They were expecting that, and that's how they run their cheese events throughout the year.
Cheese supplement income. The CSI. In the Family Matters verse, the TV show CSI is really different.
I would much rather watch that version. Are they investigating cheese, or are they just investigating
No, it's just more about taxes and revenues. It's not an investigation show at all.
Okay, well, I mean, did Rachel go over to that show after this?
No, she died in real life.
Oh, wow, that's wow.
Yeah, they were going to kill her on the show, like the character on the show, but it was weird. In between takes, she actually died from over an amount of cheese consumption. Over-cheesing. Because there's just cheese everywhere. I mean, that's what they were serving on the show. It was a real method acting show. Everyone ate cheese from craft services.
I'm only thinking of just the actual set is just covered in cheese, dropped like fungus.
Yeah, it's gross. It's disgusting. Everyone on the show contracted diseases every year.
Ooh.
So it's actually interesting. In between one of the takes where Urkel is carrying her down the stairs and back out to Carl Winslow trying to blow up his inflatable motorcycle, when you cut back the next time, you can see that the actress has changed. And actually, it's literally just Reginald VelJohnson in a wig. They didn't want to hire another actress, so they just exchanged him out for Aunt Rachel's body. It was the character died and the actress died basically the same time.
And none of the other actresses liked Rachel at all.
No, they were fine. Everyone was fine with Aunt Rachel being gone. Totally fine.
Even Brighton McClure on his sick-ass trike.
Yep. Even when he's like, Uncle Carl, I know tricycles should be hard-bodied and not inflated-bodied.
He's giving him pro tips. And he's just like, you're not helping, youngest son.
No, it's not his son. It's his nephew. Isn't it Rachel's child? That's why she gets written off whenever Rachel leaves. The family has to do a mercy killing of the child because, by God, they are not taking care of her. Of him, excuse me.
We already have one extra mouth to feed in the basement. We can't have two.
We've relied on Aunt Rachel's tax preparation income to make this family work, and you are just extraneous at this point. Urkel petitioned to let him be a sacrifice for the cheese gods, but the family just did not have time for that.
You sure? I thought I heard something about Urkel is like smuggling the Rachel's son, the nephew, out. As feeling guilty on his cheese conscience.
No, he did.
Like a lone wolf and cub type thing.
Right, but the family would have noticed. They were all so ready to do a murder that he actually swapped him out for another different child. There's a whole episode where Urkel heads down to the schoolyard in the Urkel van, and it was supposed to be this hysterical science bit where Urkel tests all the kids' DNA to make sure that they're,
proper cheese.
As close to the child that they were originally going to kill as possible. But it was just creepy and weird. The Urkel van was not the correct choice for a vehicle for Urkel.
The no-window Urkel van with a picture of his face on it.
On the side, yeah. Which, I think the creators thought the picture of the face on the side would give him some amount of... It was obvious who was in the van, right? And no crimes would be committed. Because everyone knows, if you see the Urkel van, Urkel was there.
Well, when the props added the no crimes were being committed in this van sticker on the back of the van, that's, that kind of changed the tone of the van a little bit.
Just attack. No, wait, the cops. Yeah, I remember that. No crimes are being committed in this van. Everyone in the 90s was driving around with those stickers.
Yeah.
Just to remind everyone, no crimes here, please.
Yeah, our family had a huge Astro van, and we had made sure to put that sticker on the back of it to ensure that no crimes were being committed in this van.
That made it even more illegal to do crimes in the van. Yeah. So anyway, Urkel finds the closest genetic child that he has time to find. Releases his family friend's nephew back out onto the schoolyard under the assumed identity of this other child.
He puts the hat of the child he kidnaps on the nephew.
That's right. Child, always known for wearing a hat.
Yeah. If all children look the same anyway. If you put a different hat on them, you can't tell. That's definitely Roger.
Yeah,
that's
he's wearing a hat.
That's definitely Roger Chicagoman. Just
holy shit, Roger Chicagoman. Is it the now orphan child of the Chicagoman that's stuck in the basement?
I'm remembering this episode a little bit more now. Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, just a constant tragedy between the Winslows and the Chicagoman.
There's a regular Greek tragedy happening every season in this show, and and Stanley Chicagoman sees the child for one moment and realizes who it is.
It's his own child.
Yeah,
but everyone's pretending it's not.
Yeah,
and Stanley Chicagoman starts yelling, "No, don't! That's my child!" Like, shut up! What are you kidding? This is our dancing. Nephew. We did a genetic test on him. Of course, Urkel knows that the Winslows always do any genetic testing on anyone they come across, just to be certain about their identity.
That's why they're biking. Actually, they're going for the regular genetic test bikes, bike runs, where they're
heading out to the genetic test center to make sure that they're all still the same people.
You have to be careful, being so close to the Cheese Islands. Everyone looks like
The Cheese Islanders well known for kidnapping people and replacing them with poor simulacrums.
This is some deep mythology on the show.
Hey, you know what? Family matters.
TGIF. Family matters.
Family
matters. We've hit title.
Can I tap out now? Can I tap out? I don't see this going anywhere else.
Yeah. Family matters. God. We've learned the secret. We've learned the secret to family matters. And as we fade out on Rosetta Lenore reading her famous Rolling Stones U2 cover edition.
Wait, it's singular, isn't it? Rolling Stone.
I think it's the
band is Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. I've always had trouble with that. It's Rolling Stones, the band, no problem, but Rolling Stone, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I could not tell you.
I don't know either, and I'm not going to.
But again, my opinion of Rolling Stone magazine differs from your opinion.
Your opinion, not cool. Trying too hard.
Trying to. They can put that on their magazine if they
try less. Try less, Rolling Stone.
Try less hard.
Be printed in a worse paper stock.
Have more ads, please. Guys, I hope you learned a lot about Family Matters as we did.
Oh, I know I did. Yeah.
I didn't. My genes, I forgot a lot about that, but now, I know.
I remember it perfectly.
I remember perfectly, every second that I wasted on TGIF thinking, when's Dinosaurs going to come on? Dinosaurs was a TGIF show, I think, wasn't it?
It might have been. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Also
had a downer ending. They all died.
Yeah. TGIF was just nothing but downer.
Remember that cute baby dinosaur? Dead. Actually lived on the Wisconsin Peninsula.
What?
That's right. It was a tie-in.
I thought that crossover was very weird. Like when Urkel went back home to the Cheese Islands and discovered,
and then went back in time. Stayed in the same physical location, the Cheese Islands.
Went to Dinosaur High School.
Dino High.
Showed him the dance.
Yep.
He was the one who he accidentally affected the future and introduced the dance early on.
Oh man, the TGIA. Thank God it's August. The TGIF universe. It's a weird place. It's a strange place.
Yeah, only '90s kids remember though. Aaron, do you have anything you want to plug at the moment, or like?
No,
not at all.
No.
Nothing about your Family Matters web ring?
Family Matters web ring blog.
No, web ring blog.
Check that out.
Yeah.
I guess, hey, subscribe to this podcast.
Yeah, Video Death Loop, where, find us on iTunes. I think if that's still a thing by the time we release this episode. Wherever you find it, tell people that, hey, I watched a really weird podcast. It's like, no, you didn't. And then, you argue with them for a while, and then you just fine. I'm gonna listen to more episodes on my own.
It's just like Serial.
It's just
literally exactly.
I think we came across a lot of things that Serial would.
Yeah, you remember how there was a murder in Serial? Yeah, and this one too.
Yeah, they're people entrapped, people being murdered, but why?
Yeah, who knows? We found out.
We found a telephone log.
Cell phone pings.
Yes. But all right, guys. That is the end of Video Death Loop for this week. Take it easy and stay tuned for more random content that we are going to be watching.
Yeah, come back next week and I'll pick the video.
Oh, no.
And John will be punished.
Punished severely by the cheese gods.
See you, folks. See ya.